We're here with Asking Alexandria's lead guitarist, Ben Bruce. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I just woke up like 40 minutes ago, so I'm still waking up properly.
You have a rough night of playing music and possibly partying?
I actually didn't last night for the first time in a while. I came off stage and, well, I wanted to go to bed, but like I said, we just were in a bus crash. So I'm sharing a bus with the other guys and I don't have a bed, so I tried to sleep on the sofa, but didn't work out too well.
Yeah, it happens. Sorry to hear about the bus.
That's alright, it's alright.
Alright.
So, as the original founder of the band, what can you tell us about how the music's evolved, how the style's changed since you started out?
I mean, I think it's fairly self-explanatory when you listen to the records. When we started the band, we were, I don't know how old we were, I was like 18 maybe, and the others were like 17. I was probably about 19, and we were really into a lot more like techno stuff and breakdowns, and so Stand Up and Scream is, you know, lots of breakdowns and lots of techno, and then we sort of grew up a little bit when we recorded Reckless and Relentless and sort of went for a little bit more of a rock and roll approach that was still Asking Alexandria's core style, but with rock and roll elements thrown in. And now the new album, I guess we've changed styles a little bit again. You know, we've tried to keep the heavy Asking Alexandria style that we started with and that people love so much, but again we've tried to infuse just more rock and a bit more maturity into the new album as well.
So your last album, Reckless and Relentless, was actually like a really big chart topper for Asking Alexandria. Could you tell me a little bit about writing that record and some of your favorite songs actually off that record?
You know, when we sat down to write, we were so drunk when we wrote Stand Up and Scream. and so for Reckless we were like, fuck it, we're not going to drink, we're going to just be sober and write Reckless and Relentless and give it our best shot. And we sat there, or I sat there rather, for just hours saying, oh my god, I can't do anything. And then days went by and I hadn't written anything, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to have to get really drunk. And so we ended up being wankered writing that record too. It was the only way that it would fucking come out, I guess.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't really have a favourite track though. I think maybe To The Stage is one of them. Someone Somewhere is probably one of them as well.
This is off script, but drink of choice.
Drink of choice, I'm into vodka at the moment. It changes all the time. I was really big into rum, and then I was really big into whiskey, and I'm really big into vodka. And you just overdrink something, you can move on to the next one.
I feel you.
What's your favorite beer?
My favourite beer? Probably Stella. I like Stella. I like Rolling Rock too.
My dad drinks Rolling Rock.
I don't know why, it's so cheap and shit, but it's so good.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too, so.
I love it. I hate Budweiser.
Oh, me too.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
It tastes like piss.
I agree.
So you have a new album announced for release in 2013. What can you tell us where you guys are in the recording process?
I'd say we're about 90% finished. I've been put off now. My guitar tech just flipped me off behind the camera. You can't see him. He's there. Dick. Yeah, I think we're like 90% through. We've recorded all the music, all the choruses vocally are recorded, and I think we've got about 9 songs completely finished. So Danny just has to go in after this tour and finish off like, I don't know, 4 or 5 songs.
Is there anything specific we can expect from that next record when it's actually released?
It's just a much bigger sound, you know. We haven't written, you know, when we got stuck for an idea, we'd be like, it's fine, we'll just slam a breakdown in and have a tempo change, or, you know, make it real heavy. Whereas this record, we spent a lot longer like thinking of the structure of the songs and what made sense and how the songs should flow, and so there's less breakdowns, which doesn't necessarily mean it's not as heavy, because there's a lot more riffage and stuff that makes it equally as heavy. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it's come out so far. I think people will be as well.
Alright, now you guys released a single called Run Free, and obviously, you know, you talk about that different sound. You can really pick up on that sound from that single. First of all, I guess I want to know if this single is actually going to be on the next record, and even if not, can we expect more of that sound from that single in this next record?
Yeah, I mean the song will be on the CD as well, but yeah, there's a bunch of songs on the record that sound, you know, similar to Run Free, obviously not exactly the same. That's the cool thing as well about this album. Every song is kind of different, you know, not just lyrically obviously, but musically. Everything sort of stands apart from the song prior to it or the song after it, which is really cool. But there's obviously definitely the similarities. It's me that writes the songs. There's only so many tricks I can pull out my sleeve.
What was the inspiration behind Through Sin and Self-Destruction? What was the idea behind that?
we were just fucking bored of every music video that was out. It was like, oh, that video's shit, that video's shit. Even our old videos, you're like, they're shit. They're so boring. They're all the same. Every band's the same video. They're in some silly warehouse somewhere, and it's like rocking out. It's like, oh, this is gay as fuck. You know, and we tried to be really brutally honest with the album Reckless and Relentless, and really paint a picture for what we were going through at that time in our lives. And so we thought, well, we've done it with music, why can't we do it visually and do like a music video for it? It's how it started. But that was just, you know, as it evolved and got longer, we made it into obviously the trilogy. Yeah. And I think obviously it's dramatized and Hollywoodized. You know, Danny didn't nearly die, and I didn't save his life with a needle. But you know, for the most part, it's a fairly accurate portrayal of where we were at that moment in our lives.
Right. I want to focus a little bit on maybe a little bit of a touchier subject here for a moment. I know when Outbreak was announced, Suicide Silence was one of the bands to be announced, and obviously, you know, Mich passed away about a month ago now, I want to say. I'm just kind of curious as to how that kind of affected the tour, how Asking Alexandria and the other bands on the tour kind of dealing with that.
Well, the Suicide Silence guys are good friends of ours, and Mich was a great friend too, so when I first heard the news, obviously it was devastating. Yeah. I didn't even want to do the tour. I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to do the tour. I don't want to tour ever again, this is bullshit kind of thing. But then, you know, you sit down and you realise that he was just as stoked to be doing the tour with us and stuff, and he left a little girl behind, and you know, the world just can't stop, you have to carry on. Yeah. And yeah, so basically we decided, you know, we're going to do this tour for Mich, in memory of Mich, you know, doing what we love to do, but also what he loved to do and was so good at for so long. And you know, the nice thing about doing this again, not just, you know, for peace of mind and carrying his name and his legacy on, but also the fact that financially we might be able to hopefully set up his daughter for an education in the future by donating proceeds. So you know, it was a hard decision to make, and it's not nice. We miss him every single day, and you know, we have a tribute to him halfway through our set, which doesn't bring it back and it doesn't do much, but at least it's us, you know, our way of showing everyone and the band, and you know, we haven't forgotten him, we won't forget him, and we're still fucking doing it for him. You know?
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, I remember I heard the news myself, and it was kind of devastating. Not too familiar with him, but I am still a fan from what I do know. So, but yes, moving on. You know, obviously you guys brought on Icy Stars to fill that void. I'm kind of curious to know how they've connected with you guys and the other bands on the tour, and how they filled that void after Suicide Silence and that tragedy.
Well, we didn't want to replace Suicide Silence because, you know, they're irreplaceable really, so we went for a band that was almost a completely different style, you know, and a band that we felt would appreciate the fact that they were on this tour, not replacing Suicide, but you know, to help us celebrate his life and carry everything on. So, and Icy Stars have done just that. I mean, they're great kids, really good guys, they're good live. You know, it might not be Suicide Silence fans' musical choice, but they're out there, you know, paying their respects and doing their thing.
Absolutely.
Which, you know, is all we could ask for, really. But yeah, they've been doing really well this tour. It's been nice hanging out with them.
Very cool.
What do you hope for your fans to take out of your music?
Any message that they so find. I mean, I think, you know, people relate to music and specific songs in different ways depending on what they're going through at that time in their life and what the song did to help them through it. You know, whether it's just a good time with friends or it's literally helped you through some dark periods. So I guess if anyone can find any message in any song, that's the most important thing.
Of all your songs, which one do you feel is the most meaning to you?
That's hard. I guess either Someone Somewhere, or just because lyrically and musically, you know, it's obviously a very personal song for me and Danny. And then I guess the final episode too, because even though it's a really old song and I don't love that tune anymore, I've been playing it forever, it's still very humbling, and it reminds me of where we were when we wrote that song, and that we came from nothing, and really that song propelled us and propelled our career to at the rate it did, because kids just picked up on it so quickly.
I guess and trying to wrap this up here, you know, there's a few different bands here on this tour. You know, Attila, Memphis Mayfire, Icy Stars, and As I Lay Dying, of course, Asking Alexandria. Kind of curious, out of all those bands, what are your favorite guys, you know, to go out there and maybe stand backstage, watch them play while they're doing their set? You know, what your favorite song by that band might be?
You know, I watch Memphis Mayfire a lot because they're good friends of ours. Well, Matty Mullins has been a friend of ours for a long time. I tried to catch a bit of everyone, so if I'm honest. Attila are great live, This Stars are great live, but honestly the setup much longer since As I Lay Dying, just because I grew up listening to that band. You know, it's a huge honour for us to be headlining a tour and have them come out as direct support, and I love watching them every day. Like I said, listened to them since I was, Jesus, I don't know, maybe 13, something like that, so it's a lot of fun standing backstage and watching them rock out every night.
Alright, I got one more question. We ask this to every band. What's either the defining moment or most badass story on this tour so far?
You know, I don't know, but I was just told a story today that made me chuckle at least. It's not badass by any means, but it's fucking hilarious because it didn't happen to me, it happened to Cameron. He was, we just got to the venue today and he needed a shit, obviously, so he went into the ladies' bathroom because they tend to be cleaner. You know, there's not piss on the seat and everything. Venue's closed, you know, there's no one in there, so he thought, that's fine. He's in there taking a shit and a woman walks in, starts doing her makeup. She's like, fuck, I'll just sit here and wait till she leaves. He sat there, you know, he snipped his shit off and he's just waiting. And then the second woman walks in and starts doing her makeup, and they just start talking and talking. So Cameron said, fuck, he's finished taking his shit, but he's sat there embarrassed. No one knows he's in there, she's just on the phone, and about 15 minutes go by, he's like, fuck this, I'm just going to have to flush the toilet and leave with my head held up high. They're going to think it was weird that there was a dude in here the whole time, or whatever. So he flushes the toilet and he clogs it and it overflows. And just shit and water start pouring out from the toilet bowl, and he opens the door and these two women are just staring at him in a puddle of shit and piss and water. I wasn't there, but he said he didn't say a word to them. They just looked at him and he just straight past them.
Oh my god, it sounds like something like
it sounds like something from a movie.
Yes.
Like, how does that ever happen? I'm so glad it happened to him and not me. That would have been embarrassing.
Oh wow.
But I think it's hilarious, and now I've told the world. I've called as many people as I could when I heard it. I was like, you have to tell everyone.
That's awesome.
We'll spread the message.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll help.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure.
Ben Bruce, Asking Alexandria.
Cheers.
Alright guys, thank you for watching.
You need to subscribe to this channel, watch their other videos, maybe have a cheeky wank whilst watching them, because they've got lots of other sexy people like myself. And maybe Cameron next week, they'll follow up the poo story, but come on, subscribe, watch, wank.
Ben Bruce says so.
I do.
Awesome.
That was great.
That was awesome. Subscribe, watch, wank.
I love it.